Everything you learned in history class was a lie. Well, maybe not everything, but they skipped the best parts. Introducing Stupiracy, where stupidity meets conspiracy. Ever heard of the Olympic marathon that nearly killed its runners? Or the time a pope put another pope's corpse on trial? Join me, Scott Rizzuto, and Tim McKernan as we uncover the most outrageous historical moments and mind-blowing conspiracies you won't believe actually happened. Tune into Stupiracy for your weekly dose of historical absurdity. Available wherever you get your podcasts. Remember, history is dumb, but laughing at it is smart.
He always buys American. Well, except for beer and cigars. Joe Souchere.
And it's Deputy Mayor Jay Kolls from Channel 5 in for the mayor. Rookies here. Reavers, Height. Kenny's coming later. This is a fact-based show, as the mayor points out all the time. And so I'm going to stay right with that. Not going to deviate as all. Not as a deputy mayor.
We're being proprietary.
So yesterday, Reavers and I, and you were talking about how enamored I was with Carver, with the city of Carver in Carver County, and all the history there and the yellow bricks and everything else. Why yellow bricks and nothing else? No red brick. I couldn't figure it out. But anywho, we went on to talk about a guy by the name of Andrew Tapper, who was hanged in the middle of town in 1902. And from what I read on the little historical marker, it said it was the last legal execution in Minnesota before the death penalty was abolished. However, leave it to our intrepid listeners.
Offsite Correspondents.
Offsite Correspondents. Without him, we're nothing. Thomas Radke. Big listener. He says, "Hey, Jay, listening to you when you filled in for Such on Garage Logic Thursday, you and Reavers had a discussion regarding the hanging of Andrew Tapper on February 18, 1902. Mm-hmm. You had stated that he was the last person executed in the state of Minnesota. That's incorrect," he says. And I will stand corrected but I got it right off the the historical marker. I was attributing it to. He says on February 13th of 1906, a guy by the name of William Williams, Billy Williams,
okay,
was executed by hanging. And this is the part that just seems unbelievable to me, but executed by hanging in the basement of the Ramsey County Jail in St. Paul. Unfortunately, that rope being used to hang Mr. Williams proved to be too long. He hit the floor after drop.
Is this supposed to hurt? No.
You know, we're not laughing at the incident. We're laughing at the situation.
It's like a Darwin
I think we are.
It's like something you would see on the Twitter Darwin Awards.
Well, because can you imagine
this is
and
it.
then your feet, you're like, well,
what happened?
Wait, what?
Huh?
And so
Rope was too long, you say.
Right. So
Rope
he's
was
standing
too long.
going, this is going to take a while, huh?
You've heard the old expression, just keep giving him some rope.
Just keep giving him more rope. Hang himself.
See, that'd be a situation where you would want too much rope. However, if you're bungee jumping, you don't want too much rope.
Right.
Again, this comes from Thomas Radke.
Sure.
And Tom's not quoting his source. I quoted the historical marker in Carver.
Yeah,
I gave attribution, right? I said, this is where I seen it.
So what happened?
You guys, I can't get through this. No, there's more to the story. I'm trying to get through it without even want to look at Reavers. I'm glad I can't see Reavers.
Those of you at home, keep in mind that Jay is the journalistic one in this.
Correct. I'm supposedly the journalist.
Right.
But you got to go down and check your Carver County or your Carver City of Carver guys.
I'll go down there later today
because I swear it says he was the last legal one in 1902. And I could have swore it was 1901, not 02. But I think he was convicted in 01. Maybe he was hanged in 02. But
jump
anyway.
ahead to 06.
So, okay, so now we're jumping ahead to 06 and Billy Williams, William Williams, all right? So he falls through.
Yeah, there he goes.
How you doing there, Billy? Still around.
I'm trying. I can't even
this
look.
would be a lot quicker, guys, to tell you the truth. I'm sorry for my sins.
I don't want to look at either one of you.
No.
I really don't right now because I can't get through this. So he hits the floor. They're trying to hang with Billy Williams. He hits the floor after dropping through the trap door of the gallows. 3 police officers had to hold his body up by the rope for an additional 14 minutes until Mr. Williams finally died of strangulation. The botched execution was used by opponents of the death penalty in Minnesota to argue that capital punishment should be abolished here in Minnesota. Eventually, it was abolished in 1911 and has not been reinstated. So since we are a fact-based show, I wanted to make sure we have Mr. Radke's versions of historical. He could very well be correct. Maybe the historical, whoever put the sign up down in Carver, maybe I read it wrong. I didn't think I did.
Last one in Carver.
I thought
maybe you read it backwards.
Maybe it was Carver.
Were you climbing on it?
I
was
could
it
have,
upside down?
Maybe I had a stroke. I don't know.
Cleaning up to it?
I know I had that.
Wait a minute. Stop.
I know I had that.
So you're narrowing it down from this was the last one in the entire state
of Minnesota. Yes.
Building that up as significant as that might have been to.
Maybe it was just Carver.
Maybe this was just the last one in Carver.
You know what, Reavers? Do me a favor. Call that bar, Lisa's or Harvey's, the one across the street. Is it Harvey's?
Do you just want me to send him a text?
Call him
I got him on speed dial.
Shoot him a text and tell him to run over and read that sign for me. It's right across from Harvey's.
I can do you one better. I'm going to look it up because it's got to be posted on the.
I'd almost like another offsite correspondent to run over there for me.
651-646-8255. If you're in Carver, call us now.
Read that sign.
All right.
It's at what's that called? Pioneer Park? Pioneer Hotel Park or something?
Pioneer Park, yeah.
Pioneer Park. Right there. It gives the whole history of this guy who hit on the 18-year-old girl and a young lady, and she rebuffs him, and he kills her, then they hang him.
Jay, we're supposed to be the dumb ones on this show.
I could have swore it said the last one in Minnesota.
That's so funny because I'm looking at
find out about Billy Williams.
I'm looking at my screen, my history screen here, to see what I've searched for.
Yeah.
And yesterday I did look up last execution in Minnesota.
Is it Billy?
And it came up William Williams.
So maybe it was the last one in Carver and I misread it.
But I would think I was just too lazy to argue with you. And I
no, that's fine.
I wanted you to okay, I wanted you to hear more the story.
Yeah. Well, I could take Lou on line one. You want me to do that?
Lou on line one. Yep.
Yeah, you got it?
Hi, Lou.
Hey, Lou, how you doing?
Good. Hey, Jay, maybe it just said the last public hanging, and the other one in Ramsey would be public hanging.
Oh, maybe that's it.
Somebody's got to go there and read that thing to us.
But yeah, have somebody read this sign.
Yeah, because it's really bugging me now. I could have misread it. Maybe it was the last one in Carver or Carver County, whatever. But you could be onto something there, Lou, because maybe it was the last public, because they did it right there in Main Street, is my understanding.
Correct.
Wow.
All right.
Thanks, all right, hey, thanks, Lou. See, look, it's always the listeners and the offsite correspondents who know, right?
Yeah, well, and
this is it. This is what drives this show.
Crazy, because then when they call in and try to correct you, or
right, yeah.
You said further and it's farther,
right?
You said where, or whatever you said.
But I think Lou's onto something. It might have been the last public hanging, because
in Carver or in Minnesota. We don't know.
Yeah. Can Reavers get somebody to run over from the bar and read that thing for me?
I just pulled up some historical facts and also the city's Wikipedia page to see if I can find some information that will help us in this regard.
Because it is quite the story down there. It reads,
especially if it's made up.
I wonder how I've missed it, though.
I don't know.
I've been down there a couple times.
I couldn't stop reading about it. It was so because they go into the whole history of what the guy did, where he worked, where she worked. It reads like a little Peyton place, and then he ends up killing her, and then he's hanged for it right there on Main Street in beautiful little serene Carver. And then I apparently got all my facts wrong, and we've had Tom Radke straighten us out, and then Lou offered some suggestions. And
all right, hush.
I think we're going to get an answer.
Big John.
I'm on my way in my 1959 Pontiac ambulance. I don't have the siren on, but I do have the lights on. I'm heading south on Highway 41 toward Carver as we speak.
Nice.
I will continue monitoring your transmissions, and if this mystery is solved prior to my arrival, I will abort my mission. If not, I shall find the placard and quote it.
You feel free to break programming. It won't be too heavy, but feel free
John.
to break in whatever we're broadcasting at that time.
Yep. And Big John, make sure you get a selfie outside of the gas station to send in to us, too.
I will stay out of the wind while I'm braking.
Because it's driving me nuts. I got to know now. Thanks, Big John.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll call you.
God, I love those. I love the listeners. They're just the best. All right, so when we come back, hopefully from a break, we're going to know. We're going to find out. See you in a bit.
Hey, Jay.
Yes, sir.
You know, we're looking for that historical information in Carver, and Offsite Correspondent Nick has a great idea.
Okay.
He says, Reavers, why don't you just volunteer to drive out there, read it, call back, and read on the air? I think that's a great idea.
Get going right now.
And Rook can just run the board till 6 o'clock. I think that's a great idea. I'm giving up my time for the show.
It's a very nice, generous offer, but I think we're going to have him hang here.
I kind of like the way Nick thinks, too.
Yeah.
That was Nick called in and said that?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and here's what I love, the response to this, how everybody is trying to get to the bottom of how badly I interpreted that little marker that's down there.
I can't wait to see what it says now.
John Haidt, the voice of reason, came in and said, everything he can find online says it was the last, let me get this right now.
Last dance.
The last public hanging in Carver County. So maybe, like Reavers said, I got it so backward that I thought it was the last one in Minnesota.
Public execution by hanging in Carver County.
In Carver County.
The one and only.
Technically was the last as well, but the
It
one
was
and
the
only
first, too. Yeah.
It was the first?
was the bookend.
That's typically
the
what one and only.
Well, you know what? It did say, the plaque said it was the first murder in Carver, too. Yes. But, wow. But I want somebody to read that plaque, because I could have swore it said Minnesota, but somebody's got to read it for me. I just got to know. I just have to. And you know what? While we're on this topic of justice in America,
we're still talking about Willie Williams?
No. Oh, poor Willie. Yeah. Poor Willie Williams. What a way to be the last one.
Right.
Wow. Well, he took one for the team, apparently, because nobody else had to go through when he fell through the gallows to the floor. But have either of you been following this story about the head coach of the Lions? What's his name? Matt Patricia, I believe.
Oh, the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, he's got the big bushy beard with the pencil behind his ear. He was with Bill Belichick. He was the defensive coordinator for the Patriots.
Yeah.
So he gets hired as the head coach of the Detroit Lions, right? It's come out now. A woman has said that in 1996, 22 years ago, when this Matt Patricia was a college kid, he and a buddy of his violently sexually assaulted her. He was charged, he and his buddy were charged with a felony in 1996 down in Texas, where this allegedly happened. However, she, the victim, at the last minute said she didn't want to go through the stress and the trials and tribulations of a trial and backed out, and therefore it was dropped. Now, I'm not here to defend this guy.
Right.
What he's accused of is horrible. I don't know if it happened. My question is this. So now the question's being raised 22 years later. How did the Lions not know about this? But better yet, why didn't Mr. Patricia, Coach Patricia, tell them in the interview process about what happened?
Yeah.
So if you're not found guilty in the court of law, you're presumed innocent until proven guilty.
Right.
It never even made it to court. He vehemently denies this ever happened.
That's a good question, especially if.
And now there's talk he might lose his job as the head coach.
He won't lose his job.
Well, you wouldn't think, right?
Well, but you know what? I know it was it the Detroit News, the Detroit Free Press?
Free Press.
Yeah. Okay. The beat reporter is the one that put the story together, because Pat talked about it a little bit yesterday.
Oh, did he? Yeah, it's a fascinating story.
Well, but what I don't understand is, and again, I'm not trying to indict the person that the alleged victim in the first place, but I'm just wondering, why is this coming to light now?
That's another very good question. I think
because it's not like this is the first time he's in the public eye. I mean, he's been the defensive coordinator for the Patriots forever.
Did Belichick and the Patriots not know?
They released a statement just basically saying that they were unaware of this, and that Matt's been nothing but a stellar employee. They basically they did defend him to a certain extent, but just that they were unaware of this situation.
And to what point 22 years later? And I'm just raising the question: does he have the the responsibility, or if you will, to say to his prospective employer, oh, by the way, 22 years ago, just so you know, I was accused of this heinous crime. Oh, but nothing ever came of it. But just wanted you to know. Why would he have to do? I don't understand.
Yeah, in his own self-preservation interest, he would not disclose that because no charges were brought.
The charges were brought, but then dropped. Because she backed out for whatever. And again, I'm not trying to defend. I don't know if it happened.
You're not being insensitive. You're just wondering at what point does not even the statute of limitations, but the statute of
how long do I have to tell you about something I was accused of I didn't do? In his opinion, his point is I never did this. So therefore, why should I even have to say? He says it was made up and it was to get at him and his friend, and so the Detroit Free Press did the story under the guise of should the Lions have known, and should Coach Patricia, should he have told them as hey, heads up, by the way, just so you know, kind of thing.
Right.
And I got to thinking as I read the whole story, are we all going to start being judged? I mean,
here's what I don't understand.
Good luck to me. I'm never going to get another job anywhere
because I saw
my skeletons.
I saw this story, and then I saw, of course, there's always the section of public outcry that's always going to exist, regardless of what story comes about. But here's what I understand is there are some people that are now going after the Detroit Lions for not doing their quote unquote due diligence. Well, if the charges were dropped and the prosecution never really went after this guy, what were they supposed to find?
Correct. And it's 22 years ago. I don't understand. And they're going after the Lions for not doing their due diligence, quote unquote. And then I also read a couple of comments where it was incumbent upon Mr. Patricia to say, hey, just so you know, I'm thinking, no, I don't. Why would he have? I don't know. Again, not defending him, not saying she's not telling the truth. I don't know where the truth lies in all of this. All I'm saying is I do kind of cringe a little bit at the thought that you're not even convicted of something. This is a very serious, bad crime, felony level. Could have put him away for a long time, would have never been a head coach in the NFL, that's for sure. But my point is, all of us have got something. Lord knows I got more than something.
Right? Yeah, you're piling up pretty good. You're almost full.
I'm definitely full. Yeah. But at what point do I, or anybody, is it incumbent upon you to say to somebody 20 years later, oh, hey, by the way, I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting one. I have no answers this time.
Well, and when you're at that level and you get that much publicity, an NFL coach, obviously that's going to be in the news, and then you'll have the people that can, point the finger saying, hey, what happened? What's going on? And there's no playbook for it, especially now because everything has happened so fast,
right? And
since
it's always
the past year and a half or whatever it is,
magnified right away,
right?
And sorry, all I know is I'm lucky because if I had to mention every skeleton, nobody would even let me through the door.
You're running on borrowed time.
By the way, I stole bubble gum at 6. I did it. I chewed it all the way home because it tasted. I gotta go. We'll be right back.
Yeah,
with Bruce
we will
Vail,
be right back.
Bruce
Thank
Vail,
you.
Money Matters, yeah,
exactly. You got Bruce Vail with the Your Money Now report, and it comes to us courtesy of Owatonna's own Federated Insurance. Bruce, good afternoon.
So I have figured out the moral of this story. When you're in fourth grade and you do something wrong and the teacher says it's going on your permanent record, it's going on your permanent record.
And you better bring it up at the next job interview.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
20-something years ago.
22, yeah.
Give us good news.
Yeah. All right, well, mixed day in the stock market today, but the Dow Jones Industrial Average is higher and could close higher for a 7th straight session if things hold up. Right now, the Dow is up 65 points. The NASDAQ Composite is in the red, but down just 10, and the S&P 500 is ahead 2 points. The Trump administration is expected to make about 15,000 additional H-2B visas available for low-skilled foreign workers this summer. That's a modest addition to the popular program. The number of visas available each year is capped by statute at 66,000, evenly divided between the summer and winter. But Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen has the authority to issue up to 69,000 more this summer if she determines there is sufficient need, and she appears to be ready to issue an additional 15,000. Fiat Chrysler is recalling more than 325,000 older Jeep SUVs to fix a suspension problem that could limit a driver's control of the vehicles. The recall covers Jeep Liberty SUVs from the 2004 through the 2007 model years. Fiat Chrysler said water can get into the rear lower control arms and cause rust and possibly cracks, which could affect the driver's ability to control the vehicles. I'm Bruce Vail with Your Money Now on 1500 ESPN.
All right, Bruce, thank you very much. 1 hour, and you can go home for the weekend. How's that?
No, I'm looking forward to that.
I bet you are. Bruce Vail with the Your Money Now report. We've got more to come in Garage Logic on a Friday afternoon.
Garage Logic segment number 8.
Ooh, hey, look, a minor miracle.
This is amazing. God, it's 2:30.
2:30, almost to the second. Wow. John Haidt in the newsroom. I love saying that on time.
I don't think I brought enough in.
I don't think I've ever heard you say it.
We'll take care of that.
I don't think I've ever heard him say that.
Wait a minute, you should have plenty left over from last hour.
Right.
Yeah.
It's cloudy and 48 degrees. This update brought to you by the Duluth Trading Company. Visit Duluth Trading Company stores in Fridley, Bloomington, Woodbury, and downtown Duluth. Twins Angels again tonight out on the West Coast. Lance Lynn pitches for the Twins. Tyler Skaggs, he's a lefty, goes for the Angels.
His dad is Boz, right?
No, it's spelled different, actually. It's Skaggs.
Sorry.
Boz is Scaggs. Boz just announced a concert at the State Theater this summer.
You're such a
Just
dork.
announced it yesterday. So there you go.
When are Hall & Oates here?
Isn't that this weekend?
I don't know.
Oh, they're at the XL, I thought.
Friday?
With,
Saturday?
Sticks or something?
No,
Sunday?
Train.
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 Yep.
Yeah.
Next week?
You'd prefer Sticks?
Yep.
Huh?
You'd prefer Sticks?
I'd prefer neither. I'd prefer Hall & Oates, and that's it.
Got it.
Despite Dwayne Casey just being voted Coach of the Year in the NBA by his peers, he was fired today by the Toronto Raptors.
Seriously? He got fired?
He got canned.
Well,
Yep.
how does this happen once you're Coach of the Year? What the
Raptors called it a difficult but necessary step to get the franchise to the next level.
Wow.
The Raptors hoped they had finally achieved that this season. They won a franchise record 59 games, entered the playoffs as the top seed in the Eastern Conference, but a second-round sweep at the hands of the Cleveland Cavaliers brought their season to an early end.
Don't feel bad. I mean, he's getting a decent payout to leave, and he'll have a job in 15 seconds if he wants one.
That's true, but man, that's kind of weird, isn't it?
Well, it was a pretty big bow. I mean, they were the number 1 overall seed, and they didn't even make it out of the second. They were swept in the second round.
That is true. They went 4-zip. You're right.
News notes from today. Hundreds of files that were marked confidential and contained sensitive info about troubled teenagers around the state were obtained at a storage auction in southern Minnesota. According to the man who bought the unit for $20, the files contained Social Security numbers as well as medical and criminal records on teenagers who attended Elmore Academy, a youth detention facility that shut down in 2014.
Wow.
It's located in Elmore, Minnesota, just north of the Iowa border. Elmore Academy opened in 1998, was the town's biggest employer and at the top of the tax rolls. It shut down 4 years ago after allegations of abuse and accusations that staff are housing nonviolent teens with violent ones. The parent company, Youth Services International, dissolved late last year, according to an attorney who represented the organization in a federal lawsuit. The Blue Earth Police Department is looking into the situation, but the chief says he thinks this is a civil issue, not a criminal one. The folks downstairs that you work for, Jay, 5 Eyewitness News, tried to reach the former administrator of the academy. He has not yet responded.
I think that can be considered criminal, though, beyond civil, because it's a HIPAA deal.
Yeah,
and juveniles are protected. Yeah, I don't know if the sheriffs know.
It's an odd selection of a storage locker. So obviously they quit paying at it because of financial trouble, or like I said, they went under. But when you get what is it, junk wars or whatever? Storage wars.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd like to get the story behind that. I can take these boxes and I can get 25 cents for each one of them, and they start adding it up, and there's no way it's up to $75.
I don't watch much TV, but that show was oddly fascinating.
It was great in its prime.
It was when it was at its best.
They have weird characters, and you can see right through them.
I didn't know it was still. Is it still on?
And they do it in Texas now. They move it all over the place. Yeah.
Don't forget to pay the lady.
Texas. Yeah. Don't forget
to pay the lady. Yeah. I used to like who's the guy and his wife.
Bald-headed guy.
Yeah, and what was her name?
Her name, yeah.
I can't remember. I can't remember.
No
he dressed like he was 15 years old is all I remember. He had the skateboard hat.
Is this what I got to look forward to when I get older?
Pretty much. Okay. Yeah. But we're entertained by ourselves. Look at I mean, we don't need... Has anybody gotten to that marker in Carver yet? That's what I really want to know.
Oh, my God.
I kept looking out there, and I could not find anything. It's driving me nuts
busy out the phone line.
Driving Big John. Crazy. Big John, get to that marker and read it.
Look, Jared Schultz and Brandy Passante.
That's Passante.
It.
Brandy.
Yep. Jared and Brandy. Yep. Chris is working on it right now. Maybe we'll have an answer.
I want an update. Breaking news. I know.
Look what I found.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw. Stop.
Thinking to fulfill his longstanding promise for lower drug prices, President Trump laid out his vision today for increasing competition, reducing regulations, and changing incentives for all players in the pharmaceutical industry.
That's great. Big John, where are you at?
I'm at the corner of Main and Broadway in beautiful downtown Carver, and I've never seen such a small town with so many parks.
I told you, right? And every building's got a historical
Jay,
marker.
tell Big John exactly where you want him to go.
Where is this placard you're talking about?
All right, right at I think it's 375 Broadway, right across from is it Harvey's or Harry's? Harvey's.
Okay, 375 Broadway.
Well, see Harvey's bar right there.
I'm 3 blocks away from it, if that's the case. So
okay,
I'll be right there.
Yeah, well, get to Harvey's bar right across the street is a park. Yeah.
Right.
Stop and have a beer first, John.
And call us back. Or do whatever you got to do. Yeah.
Just don't get arrested for loitering.
Actually, he could cut my grass quick, too, as long as he's
he went all the way down there,
14-year-old boys in custody on suspicion of shooting a teen in the arm at a Southern California high school this morning. Shooting happened at Highland High School in Palmdale about 7 a.m. The names of neither suspect were released. Both are students at the school. The injured teen brought himself to the hospital. He is expected to fully recover. Witnesses who were outside the school described hearing a gunshot or gunshots and seeing students running from the school. Suspect apprehended near a grocery store about a mile from the school.
So if you wanted to find out the name of the kid, you'd have to go to a certain storage unit to find out in 7B what his name was.
If it's in Minnesota, yes. You're still looking at pictures of Brandy, aren't you?
No, I turned that off.
A student at Cornell University stripped down to her underpants while live streaming her senior thesis presentation last weekend. Letitia Chai removed her shirt and shorts in protest after her professor allegedly questioned her attire during a practice run for the presentation a few days earlier. More than 24 people in the audience joined Chai in disrobing.
Is this the Vegas thing? Oh, this is a senior speech. Okay.
This is
not the Vegas. I thought maybe Vegas had already started.
You know how I perked right up when you said that? I was reading, it's kind of got more information on executions in Minnesota from Offsite Correspondents, but as soon as you said the Vegas thing, I was right back with you.
You were.
Right back with you.
You snapped to attention.
Yep, so to speak, yep.
During Chai's practice run on May 2nd, Chai told the paper she wore a blue button-down shirt and jean shorts. According to Chai, performing and media arts professor Rebecca Mager asked her, "Is that really what you'd wear?" Chai told the paper Mager said the shorts were too short, was making a statement with her attire to get men's attention. In a joint statement, 11 other students in the class said Mager apologized for her choice of words more than once after she showed up and did the presentation in her underwear.
That's great. Hey, Big John.
I am here.
Is he in front of the placard?
I am now in front of a placard, which is in the gazebo park, not the Pioneer Park, which I was looking for. And everybody I stopped and talked to looked at me like I was nuts.
That's Reaver's fault.
Pretty accurate assessment.
That's Reaver's fault.
Yeah. Now, what would you like? Would you want the whole thing, or just want the critical?
It. Tell me the whole story about the murder and the hanging.
All right. The Bachelor House Hotel sat next to its saloon at 205 Broadway. It is infamous for being the site of Carver's first murder on June 3rd, 1901. Andrew Tapper, age 34, an infatuated and enraged bartender, stable hand, and hotel worker, stabbed to death his fellow employee, Rosa Mixa, age 18. She had rebuffed his advances while working as a bachelor waitress and laundress. The following year, Tapper was convicted and hanged for the crime, one of Minnesota's last legal hangings before the state abolished capital punishment, period.
I was so close. Okay, this is where I tripped myself up. Big John, you're the best. because I said it was the last, but what I read was one of the last.
One of Minnesota's last legal hangings before the state abolished capital punishment, unquote.
And hanged right there on Main Street.
Well,
yes.
That it doesn't say.
No, but if you just I made it up.
You made that part up.
No,
didn't you,
I read other stuff about it. They were public hangings back
being fact based.
Right. Well, I was loosely fact based. It was pretty close. Pretty close.
Close enough. Close enough.
Big John, quick question.
Yes, sir.
How's retirement treating you?
Well, boy, I'll tell you what.
You got a lot of time on your hands.
Mrs. Big John retired too, and the house got a lot smaller.
Hey, Big John, do me one more favor because I love the description of Tapper. Who hasn't met a bartender like this? Read the description of how they describe Mr. Tapper.
I got to get back to the plaque.
He was walking to his car.
Are you reading the plaque? I want you to go read every plaque in town.
He's one of the guys.
It was beginning. It's beginning to mist.
Okay.
All right. Andrew Tapper, age 34, an infatuated and enraged bartender, stable hand, and hotel worker,
That's what I love. Who doesn't have an enraged
fellow employee?
Who doesn't love an enraged and infatuated bartender?
Well, there you go.
All right. Thank you, Big John.
You bet.
He's one of the guys.
I love it. Way to go.
Make sure you stop at Harvey's for a Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Good Bloody Marys.
There you go. Big John deserves it. We'll be back with Dave Dahl right after this.
Did you do the news?
Oh, Johnny, are you done?
I think I did.
Did you get the sponsor?
Sure. I'm sorry.
I got sponsored.
Okay.
We're
Sorry
good
about that.
Okay, bro. Thanks.
We solved the mystery.
Here to tell you about what Dave Dahl does. I mean, he tells you what the weather's going to be tomorrow. But the thing is that he doesn't really know. I mean, he's got the big SkyMax radar, but he doesn't even know what SkyMax means. I mean, he doesn't know what it's going to be like tomorrow. And the next day, and then the next day he doesn't know what's going to happen, and then the next day, and the pattern follows. But he still gets paid.
Yeah, he gets paid a lot.
Hey, Dave, that wasn't me, you know.
Yeah, I know.
No.
I know.
My good friend Dave Dahl down in the Channel 5 weather department with some encouraging news as we head into Mom's Day, huh?
Yes, absolutely. Even tomorrow is going to look pretty good across the entire state. If you're heading up north for the fishing opener, upper 60s, close to 70 tomorrow afternoon. Down here in the south, we should be in the mid-60s tomorrow with increasing sunshine as we go through the day. We'll start off with clouds and maybe even a sprinkle in the morning. Now, overnight tonight, we have some mist and some light drizzle in the southern half of the Twin Cities, basically. But still a spotty shower possible almost all night tonight. Low temperature down to 42, so it's going to be chilly if you're out and about. 64 for the high temperature tomorrow. Morning clouds, maybe a spotty sprinkle in the morning, but then decreasing clouds, some sun in the afternoon. We'll push that high up to the mid-60s. Sunday, mid-70s for highs. And we touch 80 by Monday of next week. Some thunderstorms are possible on Tuesday. It doesn't look like a big deal at this point. 78 for the high, and then 80 again on Wednesday. It stays pretty mild the rest of next week as well. Again, overnight tonight, though, some spotty rain showers, sprinkles. You're going to be dodging that tonight. 42 for the overnight low. Currently, we're at 48. And
you got some records, don't you?
I have the records.
What do you bring them to
on
me, baby?
this day, believe it or not, made it up to 88 degrees. And that was when you were just a youngster, 1900.
Thank you, Dave.
Yes.
Thanks for reminding me.
Take a look at your hair.
Right. What I have left of it.
27. Well, you got enough.
I don't know about that. Thank you.
Enough. 27.
Let me just slick mine back here over here, boys. Everything's good.
Rookie likes to brag.
Oh, he is just a big braggart.
He's a braggart.
Well, he's got hair, and that's about it.
That's about it.
Ain't going anywhere
Thank you,
right
Dave.
Now, yeah.
Yes.
27 for the record low, and that was in 1946.
1946. I had a quick question for you.
Yes.
So, with that wonderful April we had,
yeah,
it was a fantastic April.
Most snow ever.
I thought we might get, and maybe it's still a possibility. I thought we might see. The flooding would be worse than what we've... So far, it just seems like a normal spring with some high water. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it really wasn't
What happened?
It wasn't that bad. Well, no, that was good. That was it because we got so dry. Even after that, when the snow was melting, it was so dry, we didn't get rain for like 10 or 12 days.
Yeah, you're right. So maybe that was the key. We just didn't get that extra...
that extra rain that we usually get in April. At perfect timing there. Just let it melt and still had some high water in a lot of places. But it didn't have that severe flooding that we've had many springs.
Yeah, obviously. No, I was really really anticipating, I thought, well, I got to get the hip waders out for some live shots.
Gonna go up to Grand Forks.
Right? Yeah. And it didn't really materialize because I remember in 2013 when we had a really cold, Mille Lacs, the ice flow was coming off in the first week of May still, and it was crazy. We had some pretty significant good flooding then, and I just thought, well, okay, with that April, we're going to get it. But I guess like you said, it just dried up. It just stayed nice and dry for a spell, and we didn't get it.
Yep, exactly.
Which does not mean we're out of the woods, though, because we could still get a ton of rain in May, June, July, right?
Yeah,
you never know.
Last year, the high water, wake on the St. Croix was in June.
You're right. It was June.
We can get a lot of rain in June.
Yeah, all right. Well, hey, Dave, thanks.
You're welcome.
We'll talk to you later.
All right.
So more research on executions in Minnesota.
What do you got?
Another offsite correspondent, same one, Tom Radke, but another one in addition to Big John and Lou.
Yeah, very loyal.
So we're talking about William Williams. Billy Williams was the last guy executed. They botched his execution in the Ramsey County Jail, and it took 14 minutes to finish the job, so to speak, and the deputies had to hold him up by the rope.
That's really, they held the rope up for 14 minutes.
Yeah, it's not good. But now here's what's fascinating. I read the story about what led up to his murder. His defense was emotional insanity. He had an affair with another man.
Oh.
And confront the mom and dad of that young man didn't like him taking him to Winnipeg for
the Jets game.
Yeah, for the Jets game. And so they intervened. William didn't like it, executed them all, although he didn't intend to kill his lover. So now he's sentenced to death. And the only reason the public found out about the botched hanging, because it was in the basement of the Ramsey County Jail in St. Paul in 1906. Get a load of this. It says here, a reporter for the St. Paul Daily News sneaked into the execution and witnessed it in all of its botchedness. Yes.
Now you being a journalist and you being one of the gotcha types... that's like manna from heaven. That is.
It is.
He had a story. When he tapped on the editor's, with the blinds down in the editor's office, that was well received. Yeah.
Said, guess what?
You're not going to believe this.
I did something unethical. So now we have an ethical question here. I illegally gained entry. In today's world.
Oh my gosh.
We probably would not. No, I know we wouldn't have been able. If we got in there under less than honest means like he did, no way that story's hitting the air. I doubt any newspaper would. Back in the day, you could sneak the reporter in, and they ran the story anyhow. And that's what then led to the end of state-sanctioned executions in Minnesota. But the St. Paul Daily News, I don't even remember. Obviously there's the Dispatch, Pioneer Press. One time we had the St. Paul Daily News, and this kid snuck in.
Maybe it was like the city pages of 1906.
You imagine how mad that sheriff was at that reporter because he snuck in. We'll be right back.
The Sands is proud to present a wonderful new show, A Man and His Music. The music of Count Basie and his great band, and the man is
Joe Souchere.
How did all these people get in my room? Come fly with me, we'll fly away. If you can use some exotic booze, there's a bar in far Bombay. Come on, fly with me, we'll fly away. Come fly with me, we'll float down to Peru. In Llama Land, there's a one-man band, and he'll toot his flute for you. Come on, fly with me.
I was going to say, am I supposed to say something right now?
No, Frankie sang his song.
Okay,
so I think we're all.
That's what I thought.
I think we're good here.
So what did we learn today? We learned that Billy Williams was actually the last person hanged in Minnesota.
I just learned you're wearing white headphones.
And I'm wearing white headphones.
We learned that Reavers is all set for Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Because he's kissing up.
Yeah.
What else did we learn?
And poor Billy didn't make it to the gallows the way he was supposed to. He hit the ground first.
Yep.
The noose didn't take.
All right.
And that's it. That's all I got today, right?
I think that's
Nothing
all you
else?
got. That's it.
Yeah. What else did, and it was not the last execution in Minnesota. We learned that. I didn't offer up much today, did I? No. In fact, 2 days in a row now. Just okay.
You were adequate. Yeah,
just adequate. Well, thanks for having me for 2 days.
Well, you did okay.
The mayor's coming back on Monday, right?
He will be back on Monday, refreshed and ready to go.
Nice. I think that's it for me. Jay Kolls from Channel 5 filling in, and